UFC events have no doubt become one of the most talked about and watched events over the years. 9 UFC events have had more than 1 million pay-per-view sales over the course of the last 5 years. The general public's interest rising, things in the UFC world have surely become more interesting too. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the latest UFC news, including Stephen Thompson and Belal Muhammad going against each other in this year's final event, so stay tuned till the end. The UFC finale of 2021, Stephen versus Belal. The highly anticipated welterweight bout will take place towards the end of the year at a UFC event. Many sources familiar with the promotion's intentions have verified that the fight between Stephen Thompson and Belal Muhammad will take place at Apex Las Vegas on December 18. After having his 2-fight winning run cut short in July, Thompson will be hoping to get back on track. Wonder Boy lost a unanimous decision to Gilbert Burns at UFC 264. Prior to his recent retirement, the 5th welterweight in the world's MMA fighting rankings won a decision over Vincent Luque and Jeff Neal. Muhammad has won 5 of his previous 6 fights, including a takedown by Takashi Sato at UFC 242. Remember the Name will make his 4th appearance of the year, looking to build on his best triumph so far. In June, Damian Maia fought at UFC 263 in Las Vegas. The 14th ranked MMA fighter in the world fought Leon Edwards at the main event in March, but the bout ended in a no contest when Muhammad was accidentally jabbed in the eye. The heavyweight title fight between Derek Lewis and Chris Buchas will be the main event at the UFC event in December 18, and we can't wait to watch. Dana White versus COVID. After spending Thanksgiving in Maine with his family, UFC president Dana White announced that he and his whole family tested positive for COVID-19. He mentioned on the Jim Rome podcast that his family just went up to his property in Maine for Thanksgiving, which is a tradition for them, and someone had it. They all tested positive for COVID when they were back. He also added that all of his family tested positive, including the ones in Maine. After suffering moderate symptoms, including a momentary loss of taste and smell, White claimed that he is completely vaccinated and in isolation. The heavyweight title fight between Derek Lewis and Chris Buchas will be the main event of the UFC event on December 18. He also mentioned that he is following the procedure and staying away from people until he tests negative, is hoping to be able to attend the UFC ESPN 31 event. He stated that he is taking extra precautions so he can be present at the event. The main event of UFC on ESPN 31 is stated for Saturday in Las Vegas and will feature Rob Font versus Jose Aldo in the bantamweight class. We hope Dana and his family will recover soon. McGregor contract update. Conor McGregor has updated his UFC contract ahead of his anticipated comeback to the octagon. McGregor has fought twice in 2021, losing a second-round knockout to Dustin Poirier in January and hurting his leg in the first round of the Rivals Trilogy showdown in July. The Irishman is still healing from his injuries, but he revealed last month that he intends to resume sparring in the spring and a full UFC comeback next summer. He's also headlined 8 out of 10 best-selling PPV events in UFC history. McGregor mentioned in a tweet that with 2 bouts left on his contract, he plans to round out the whole top 10. McGregor, who has lost 3 of his past 4 UFC fights, has been connected to a number of opponents in the build-up to his rematch. Nate Diaz, a former welterweight champion with whom McGregor exchanged wins in 2016, fellow former featherweight champion Max Holloway, whom McGregor defeated in 2013, and lightweight contender Michael Chandler are among them. Chandler made his UFC debut in January, defeating Dan Hooker in the first round. In May, with the lightweight championship on the line, the American came close to stopping Charles Oliveira first round, only to be stopped early in the second round. In November, the former 3-time Bellator lightweight champion was defeated by Justin Gaethje in a bout that was a candidate for Fight of the Year. Following the fight, Chandler shared a mock-up photograph of himself and McGregor locked in a stare-down with the words 2022. In response to the tweet, McGregor stated that he will fight Chandler at some time in the future. Exciting. Covington's surprising in-cage confession to Usman. Kamaru Usman, the UFC welterweight champion, successfully defended his championship after defeating Colby Covington by majority decision at UFC 268. Usman has now retained the championship against Covington for the second fight. The Nigerian Nightmare TKO'd Chaos in their first battle, fracturing his jaw in the process. Covington's signature form of fight marketing has greatly contributed to the buildup of their contest. A parody of loudmouth alt-right incendiaries will be performed as part of this campaign, taking advantage of every chance to trash-talk opponents with rude and occasionally racist and/or xenophobic remarks is part of that behavior. The American has been able to secure top UFC possibilities and significantly profit himself as a result of this farce. Covington removed his veil for a brief period during the last stages of his most recent fight, believing that only Usman would notice. The UFC cameras, on the other hand, were present. The organization has now released a video of Covington's comments to his opponent in the ring. He doesn't sound like the press conference figure we're used to. Here's some of what was heard. Covington: I'm just trying to sell it for you. Usman: what? Covington, repeating himself. Usman: I know. Covington: it's all love. Covington informs Usman that he has been performing an act, which goes as no surprise to everyone. Okay, go kiss later, go back to your corners, go ahead. Fight referee Dan Murgagliata interrupts the exchange. After this interaction, Covington would instantly revert to or out of character. In his post-fight news conference, Covington called Usman a cheating coward and claimed he had no regard for that guy. According to veteran MMA journalist Ben Fowlkes, Usman improved to 20-1 on the year and 15-0 in the UFC with his second victory against Covington. In the welterweight class, his 15 wins in a row set a UFC record for consecutive victories. Kevin Lee's release. Kevin Lee has been dismissed from the UFC after nearly 8 years with the organization, according to UFC officials. Lee, 18-7, was released after losing 5 of his last 7 octagon outings, going back to October 2017. Lee only won 2 fights against Edson Barboza and Gregor Gillespie during that time, and both by stoppages. Since 2014, the Motown phenom has defeated a long number of excellent competitors under the UFC banner, including choke finishes over Michael Chisera and Francisco Trinado. After that championship fight, Lee headlined 4 Fight Night events, finishing 1-3 with defeats to Al La Quinta, Rafael Dos Anjos, and Charles Oliveira, and a win against Barboza. Lee's final octagon debut saw him lose a welterweight fight to Daniel Rodriguez by decision. Following his loss against Rodriguez, Lee was recently sentenced to a 6-month ban after testing positive for amphetamines. Lee eventually admitted to using Adderall to manage his ADHD, unfortunately, but we're going to miss him. Pixel Flex times UFC. Technology has given lots of amazing things that have completely revolutionized the way we do and see things, but perhaps one of the latest creations that have caught our eyes are by UFC and Pixel Flex, who have partnered together to help generate UFC Fight Clock, the world's foremost mixed martial arts organization's new patented and revolutionary timekeeping technology. UFC Fight Clock uses cutting-edge technology, including the world's most flexible high-definition displays, to give the most precise timekeeping system in combat sports to combatants and viewers. UFC Fight Clock is built into the UFC's production equipment, allowing competitors, spectators, and officials in the arena to see the same round countdown clock as those watching the broadcast. How cool! Beloved female UFC fighter retires. Felicia Spencer, a former UFC Women's Featherweight Championship contender, has declared her retirement. Spencer announced the news in an interview with Fight Bananas on Thursday, citing her mental health as the primary reason for her departure from the sport. "I felt as good as I've ever been in my last fight, and no, I could have more great performances, but after 18 fights, including a few wars, I know in my heart for my future mental health that I shouldn't be in more of those wars. In the fight game, that isn't guaranteed, and I've shown myself that I won't give up in the cage, so I need to protect myself by just not stepping in there. I'm thinking about myself and family 25 years from now. Mental health is an important consideration in my family." Spencer's professional MMA career began in 2015 under the Invitica FC banner, and he has had quite an eventful history. Prior to her retirement, Spencer was one of the few women in the UFC's women's featherweight class. She last fought on November 13, rebounding back from a May defeat to Norma Dumont by dominating Leah Letson en route to a TKO finish in the 3rd round. We will surely miss her and wish her all the best. That's all we have for you guys today. Leave a comment below letting us know all your thoughts, what you'd like to see next. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe for more. See you next time. Bye.